So good morning, it's Patsy. You'd have to excuse my red nose. I don't know what's going on with that just lately, but it's always red just lately, and I'm not quite sure why. I've had all these blood tests for rosacea and all this lot, and now it comes back thinking. And I can't wear makeup because I can't have makeup near my eyes. So you'll just have to put up with my Rudolph. I'm getting festive before Christmas. So the reason I've come on this morning is I wanted to put my thoughts out there about some videos that I've been watching lately. And this is kind of something that's really been on my mind for a while anyway, and I did touch upon it in a previous video a couple of months back, but I wanted to sort of come on with everything what's going on at the minute and just put my two pence in of what my thoughts are. And it's about community. There was a couple of videos put out by Becca, Tarot Night Owl, I think it was the end of last week, middle of last week, about the community. And then Simon at Hermit's Cave done one, and then there's been a few VRs to this particular one. And I watched one last night what really resonated with me, and I'm going to pop that underneath in comments, you know, in the description box for people to click on to have a look and see what you think. Now this video is probably not going to make me very popular amongst a lot of people, but I really don't care about that anymore. It was something that worried me previously, but not anymore. I've got to be true to who I am. You know, I'm 50, am I now 52? I have to remember my age, 52 years old. I've got a mind of my own. You wouldn't think it how I've been behaving these last few months, but it's time that I kind of went back to me and not followed what others think and say. So I'm going to get that out of the way first. So, community. To me, as I said in a previous video, to me the tarot community is very much like if you think of a tree. Now you get this huge tree with this big trunk, which is the you know the basis of the spirituality. You know, that's, you know, the basis of why everybody is here on YouTube for our particular reason, for the tarot, etc. So you get this big trunk, which is your basis, you know, that root connection of us all. And then you go into the fuller tree. And trees have branches branching off in all directions with little branches coming off. Now, to me, there is not a whole community. There just isn't. And I've said this before. To me, there is branches. Take, for example, I love to watch Kelly at Truth in Story. So to me, she is one branch of that tree. And she has people who go and view her channel, and they are her community. Then on another branch you will get Kelly Maddox, and again she, you know, is another one that I love to watch, but she will have her followers who follow her. That's her community. Then you have like the other big YouTubers, like, who else do I like to watch? Tom Benjamin. Love to watch Tom Benjamin, so informative. He has his branch on that tree. His followers are his community. So you get what I mean. Everybody who has a channel, who has people who watches, that is their community. I'm a very small channel with only around 250 subscribers. This may go down after I've done this video, but hey ho. That's my community. But then you get someone like the Hermit's Cave, that has, you know, started off just the same way. They have their tree branch on the tree, and they have their viewers, so that's their community. But then part of their community then become creators or are creators, and they have their little branches, so they all kind of intermingle. So that community then widens to other people who was part of his community that now connect with his community, but they also connect. So it kind of goes like, if you're in one of the chats or one of the communities, then you're in most of the communities. They kind of work like that. So if you've got a couple of bigger names there, then that, you know, all of their supporters will follow that support, you know, that channel, and that channel was, so it all kind of works like this. And the video that I've put below explains it in a lot better way than I can. But that's where the community comes in there, and that community is quite a large community, because they all kind of intermingle, and you see one in one of them, you'll see them in another, and then you'll see them in another, and it's into another. So that is that community. But as a whole, then no, I don't think there's community. There's very many sections too. You get your people who just like your tarot and other divinations, then you have the people who just do readings, then you have people who on the witchy side of things, then you have people who are on the angel side of things and do angel readings. So there's kind of lots of different sections to that tree as well. So it's not a whole community, even though there is that basis, that ground, the trunk, you know, that what links us everybody together. But I don't believe there is a community, and I've said that before. Now, I was in the Hermit's Cave. That was one of the first ones I found when I came to YouTube. I mean, I've been on YouTube a year now. I've not been creating content for that long, but I actually joined about a year ago, and I found Kelly at Truth and Story, and I found the Hermit's Cave, and I got sucked in, and that's the only way I got sucked into a lot of things that was not me, was not the person I am, and I still kick myself for that. Now, most of us can relate to growing up feeling out of place amongst different things, you know, because I think a lot of us are so different with it, because when we have these sort of spiritual beliefs that we do, and we do the things that we do, we are quite different from other people in the community that are not. And I grew up in a small town, not in a religious family, but not in a spiritual family either. Lots of churches where I live, very close-minded people, that kind of thing. So when I was sort of teenager, getting into spirituality and what have you, and as I was getting into young adulthood, all my friends were going out drinking and going to the pubs and clubs, and that's something that I never did. So I was not part of that friendship that we had as children, because we'd gone our separate ways. Do you know what I mean? Which is understandable in life, it happens. My path took me one way, theirs took them another. So you lose that connection as you get older. But if you're coming from a small town where there is no other people what are into spiritual stuff, or if they are, they don't announce that they are, then you're very confined to self-practice. Now, my children, as they're growing up, are very much like their mother because of their upbringing. So they're my little tribe of spiritual friends. Do you know what I mean? But that's about where it stands. You know. So that's why I joined YouTube, because I wanted to. I mean, I've done Facebook, and I still got groups on there. I haven't been able to do too much, and I had quite large groups on there, but I closed them down to just kept smaller ones, because it was taking too much time up, and a lot of people just wanted free readings, which I couldn't commit to all the time. So this is why I come to Facebook. I wanted to find this group of people, you know, who I could connect with on a spiritual level. Even if we didn't agree fully on different things, then at least we could have discussions about why it is, you know. And this is why I joined in the first place, and I found it through looking for a set of cards or something, I believe. So it kind of surprised me that there were so many people out there, I must admit. But anyway, get back to my point. The Hermit's Cave was one of the first ones that I found, and I joined. And it was like, wow, all these people all into the same thing and what have you. This is great. Do you know what I mean? This is great. You're made to feel welcome. People say hello to you and what have you. And for a start, you do feel like you are part of this community. But it soon comes quite clear that there is a certain section of that community that is the community, and you're kind of on the outside of that community. And I kind of said that before. So I never always felt like I was part of a community, even though I was part of this big group. People used to say hello. People wasn't rude to me. People wasn't nasty or anything like that. It was just this feeling that, you know. And then I started questioning myself, and this is where you get your problem. I started questioning myself, thinking, well, why don't they like you? You've gone through life with being a little bit of a loner, and you've always been one of these people who even your own, you know, some parts of your family don't have nothing to do with, could think you're a bit of a weirdo or what have you. Do you know what I mean? So I started looking at myself and thinking to myself, well, it's your fault, you know, it's your fault that they don't like you, you're not a very nice person, etc., etc. So again, that hit my self-confidence, and that's not very good when you suffer from mental health issues anyway. So I'm going to kind of touch on that. You've got to be very careful when you join these kind of groups that you don't allow, if you're not included, you know, that it drains your self-confidence, because it can do, and I know it has done to a few people, and like I said, that is, and I am one of those people that did do it. I was very much questioning myself, what is wrong with you? It must be you, because look at all these other people, they get on, you know. But that said, some things happened while I was in that group that made me a bit wary. And the one big thing was the Shane and Simon fiasco, what went on at that time. Now, I hadn't long joined that group then, and I remember I come on in the morning, I knew nothing about what had been posted, the live and all this. I wasn't aware of none of this, but I did something then that I am not proud of, and it was so out of character for me. I took the word from Simon and all the others in the group that this was something that Shane had done. This was something that Shane had brought on himself. He was out for Simon and he had beaten Simon and all this other stuff. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but you know what I'm talking about. Now, I reacted with, oh my God, I can't believe he'd done that. I didn't go to Shane, even though he was on, you know, one of the people that I watched, and say, oh, what's your side of the story or whatever. I just automatically followed all the others that was in the hermit's cave and believed what I was told. I would never do that. I've never ever been one of those people who is very judgmental. I've never been that person. And at the time when I was doing this, I couldn't or I wouldn't believe that I was doing it then, because when you're in there, you know, when you're in this situation and you're in this kind of situation, you don't see beyond what you think is real, and I couldn't see beyond that. Now, I have since apologized to Shane, and I love Shane, and I love his channel, and I'm glad he started making content again. He's not now again, but I hope he comes back and does more content. But I do love Shane, and I do still feel bad that I treated him the way I did, without, just on the word of somebody else who I didn't even know. I didn't even know this person whose word I took over is, and that's not me. And that really made me start questioning myself. Well, then of course my eyes went, and I had to do a lot of listening, not watching, not commenting, because my eyes just wouldn't let me. They still don't some days. So I spent a few months just sitting in the background, just listening, and just kind of taking it all in and thinking about different things and what have you. And I kind of, didn't like what I was seeing a lot of the time and what I was hearing. It's very difficult on YouTube to find smaller channels to watch, because YouTube just doesn't bring them up. They just bring the bigger channels up. But I tried kind of reaching out to different branches and different areas to find new people to watch. But it's very difficult when a lot of the people that you have on you subscribe to, and a lot of people who subscribe to you, are joined to this one YouTuber, this one part of YouTube. So it's very hard, because everybody seemed to be connected, so wherever I'm going it was the same people. So it was very hard to try and get out of, and kind of move around and find different people. Now, a couple of weeks, like I said, last week, Becca done this, and I used to love Becca. I used to watch her all the time. She put this video out where she kind of blames people who didn't feel part of a community. She blamed them. She said, well, it's your fault. Basically said, your fault. If you don't feel that you're in the community, then that's your fault. Do you know what I mean? We're friendly, we're welcome. And if you don't join in and whatever, then that's down to you. And I kind of thought, wow, that is quite a judgmental thing to say, and it made me really sit and think. So I come off the channel, because not everyone is going to be in a situation where they can comment, or for whatever reasons, shyness or what have you, or like me with my eyes or whatever the reason is, then, you know, there's people that's not going to be able to make this comment and connections. And just because somebody says hello in a chat and they get hellos back doesn't make you part of that community. Now, the people within there aren't going to see that, but people on the outside looking in will know what we're talking about. They can say hello to you, that's fine, you know, that's nice, that's friendly, but it doesn't involve you, it doesn't connect you with them people. So I kind of didn't like that part at all, and I did remove myself. Now, then Simon made one, and he said very much the same. He went into the, you know, went and checked what the words meant, and etc, etc. And he basically said the same thing: I make everybody welcome, blah blah blah. If you don't like, you know, if you don't make the effort, then, you know. And again, I thought very judgmental, very, you're seeing things through, you know, rose tinted glasses, if you like. You know, you're not accepting that there's this cliqueness going on. You're not accepting that some people may not feel part of that. Now, you have to own, you know, something. If it's going on, you have to own it. And I'm quite, you know, so yes, he should have gone on and said, you know, yes, I'm sure people do feel left out, because there is these friendships and these cliques within my community, which is a natural progress of any community, whether online or offline. You'll always get a group of people who are friends, and you will always get a group of cliquey people. That's quite natural, but he didn't own that. He said point blank, no, there isn't none of this going on. And again, so I've stopped, you know, I stopped watching him, and again, and I won't be going back to watch, because I've turned in, like I said, I've turned into this person who I'm not, you know. I can want to watch content, tarot content, but I got sucked into, I think Jules called it, the social media side of tarot. These channels what don't really put content out, it's just talking and unboxings. There's no real content, and I kind of got sucked into this. But when I actually come on to find channels of content like Tom Benjamin's, where that, you know, his channel is full of content, what is, you know, he does unboxings and everything, but his content, you know, is also, it puts tips and all sorts on there. I mean, it's a whole lot of different things to help people who's in the community, you know, in the tarot world, who want to learn it more or see how other people do things. And that's kind of what I came on to do. But I kind of got sucked into this other side of tarot, and that's not me. I do the unboxings, and they are probably one of the most popular things that my channel does, which is a sad thing, because I have been trying to do spreads. I have been trying to put out past life readings, how I do them, and spirit readings, how I do those, etc. But they're the ones that get very little views. You know, the ones that get the biggest views are deck unboxings, which is totally understandable, because if you're looking for a new deck, you know, oh yeah, you know, I'll go and have a look on YouTube, see what they look like, etc. So I shall carry on doing the unboxings, but I shall still carry on doing the spreads and doing all the things that aren't popular, because that's what I came on to do. And I will start talking about angels and all the other things, you know, because I found that I was apologizing for not mentioning my different kinds of, you know, I've said before, I'm very eclectic, but angels are such a huge part of who I was and who I still am. But I was almost finding that I was apologizing for working with the angel energy, and why should I apologize? That is part of who I, you know, who I am and what I do. Just like, you know, I do other things as well. Again, I feel like, well, no, you shouldn't really say that, because you're going to, you know, and I was always worried about upsetting people, or because I've seen the other side of tarot, where if you do say something what the bigger groups disagree with, then you are going to get the backlash, and I'm expecting a lot of backlash from this today. So I kind of kept quiet, so as not to rock the boat and cause myself unnecessary grief. But the longer this is going on, and I'm not being my true self, and I'm allowing the opinions of others to stop me from doing what I want to do, but also worried about what others are going to. That's not me. I don't worry about what anybody thinks of me or what they think of anything. Do you know what I mean? I'm quite easygoing and very adaptable, and I'm quite, you know, quite laid back. But if you rock my boat and upset me too much, you'll know about it. So it's not as though I'm a walkover, because I'm certainly not that. But I felt like I have been these last few months, and maybe the eyes haven't helped because I'm not being my proper self. But I should carry on with my little channel, and I should now put out things that I want. I should continue with unboxings because, you know, like I said, they are popular, and it's how I found YouTube, you know, when I was looking for a deck that I was thinking about getting. So I will continue, but it'll be on things that interest me, not what I think I should be putting out there. And I know I shall lose a lot of people by speaking out today, but I really, you know, I have 250 subscribers, and probably about 10 comment regularly, and make connections with me, you know. So if I only keep them 10, what does it matter? People are you know, connecting with me what I wanted and discussing what I want to discuss with them, you know. So numbers doesn't matter. And what other people think of me doesn't matter, as long as I'm true to who I am and do what I do. So thanks for listening, and if you leave the channel, bye, and if you stay, lovely. I'm glad to have you with me. Thanks for watching. Bye.